Hello everybody, welcome to another reading. There's no escaping the case currently of Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, her boyfriend. So I thought I would try making a video about that, mostly because I'm wondering if, because there's so much stuff going on right now, if we're going to get a very confused reading with everybody's energy mixed in, or if we're actually going to get what's actually happening because it's all so very fresh. For the people who are not aware, Brian came home with the van that they were using for a van life tour they were on because she wanted to make success out of vlogging van life content on YouTube and other platforms, I'm pretty sure. And apparently they did not get along very well, at least not on the road, because there is a whole video of them having been pulled over for speeding, and they were talking about how they had been arguing that morning, and she had been slapping him while driving, and he ended up hitting a curb somewhere while they were pulling over for the cops. At the end of that traffic stop, they sent Brian to a hotel, and she got to leave with the van itself. And they were not supposed to contact each other, at least until, I guess, the next day or something along those lines. They were ordered, or rather strongly suggested, to not contact each other for the time being. So apparently they did end up getting back together afterwards. And there were some phone calls with her parents made, I believe. She sent a few texts. And then she went silent, save for one text saying that she was in Yosemite. And the next thing we knew was that Brian came home alone in the van. So that was already quite suspicious. He kind of laid low for a while and then disappeared again. And the parents didn't actually tell us that until a few days after. I believe they said, oh, we haven't seen him since Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not really sure which day they said that they had last seen him. And they suggested to go check out this swamp area because he apparently liked to frequent that. Now, my first own instinct says that might be a wild goose chase. I don't know where he is right now, but he's not looking very good in the ways of being innocent or not. So lots of opinions out there. We don't really know what's happening. But today I saw a newscast that the body had been found, or a body has been found in Grand Teton's area where they were last. And they suspect that that is Gabrielle's body that they found. They have to, of course, positively identify the body, but it's likely to be her. So now we're still looking for Brian Laundrie to see where he's gone. But in any case, I thought I would do a rating to see what we get. We're starting off with the Crow Tarot deck, which is this one by MJ Cullinane, which is very nice. And for any further questions, we are moving on to the Urban Tarot deck, which is this one, which has much more modern imagery, such as this hacker guy, for instance. So we're going to do that. As per usual, I'm an intuitive reader, so I'm going to tell you what the cards say to me. If you see something else in the cards, make sure to put that in the comment section below. I'm just going to start shuffling, and then we're going to take a look at all the cards that we have on the table once we have a good collection. So let's go. Okay, so the Crow Tarot deck was very quick to give us some answers this time, or at least give us some cards. It started off with the Five of Swords in reverse here, next to the Queen of Pentacles, and the Ace of Swords. Actually, this entire first row says to me a lot of disagreements, a lot of arguing. We already saw some of that, obviously, in the police video, the body cam video. But let's just start over here from the left, and the Queen of Pentacles. So this Five of Swords here says to me like they've been arguing for quite some time, and this is a verbal disagreement that is deep-rooted because it's in reverse here. I tend to read that as an internal thing. At least when I first saw this card fall onto the table, I thought, okay, this is an extended conflict that has been going on for some time, and it's to do with this Queen of Pentacles here, who really just likes the things to be done her way. And I'm noticing the rabbit down here, so it's almost like other people that are in her way and may not want to do the things the way she wants them to do. They're just gonna have to bow down because that is how she wants them done. They're also not looking at the rabbits, so they're just kind of like ignoring whoever does not have the same opinion as her. She doesn't want anything to do with that. At least stubbornly sticking to her own. The Queen of Pentacles does have a certain warmth to her, but it's more like after certain points, I mean, there are lots of flowers here, lots of fluffy things and pretty things around her, so she does have a warm nature, but it's more like this is it, this is how we're doing it, and I will hear no other things in that regard. We also see the Ace of Swords in reverse right here, so that is kind of like to point, at least point out to me that the new initiatives that they had come up with were turning sour. And there is the Hangman in reverse. So Hangman is normally a card that tells you to take a different perspective on things, and since we are seeing this in a lineup of being very stubborn about your opinion, unwilling to see new things, and then the Hangman comes out in reverse, that means that they're unwilling to change, unwilling to look at things. Matter of fact, it made things worse because next thing we see here is the Queen of Swords, who even more points towards the things that she wants, and this is exactly how we're going to do it, because the Queen of Swords is somebody who has thought about these things, intellectualized them, has certain ways that they want things done. They can be kind of cold, at least they're very direct in that sense, like, okay, no, this is it, this is how we're doing it, and this is how we're doing it now. So there's no way to balance it out, because next we see here the Two of Pentacles. Now, Two of Pentacles normally like balancing things out, trying to figure out what to do, for instance, with your finances, with your resources, with your time. Could also mean, like those two up there, they're kind of in a balancing act, flying around up there trying to work things out, and this whole lineup is basically saying that that was not happening. There's a lot of stubbornness here. I think that's the main thing that we're looking at here, like just certain ways of doing things and not wanting to change that just because somebody else has another opinion. Then we see the Ace of Cups in reverse. Ace of Cups is normally like a new love or some type of other emotional initiative, but in this case it seems more like it's going sour. You can see the bird just looking into the cup, almost forlorn, like there was something in here that I really wanted, and currently it's not what I want anymore. The fire around it is burning for a different reason than it should have been. And next to that we see the Nine of Swords, which is a worry card, and it's in reverse again. And this is a anxiety card, very much anxiety here. It's all under the cover of night. The birds are out of the cage, though, as you can see the cage over there is empty. Is that a light bulb over here? Oh no, that's actually a skull at the end of the sword right here. See that? That's a skull right there. So it's almost like, because this is next to the Seven of Wands, either this is the conflict or the conflict started over here already, moved on over here, and this is the result. But somewhere along these lines we see him or somebody at least being challenged, because that is the Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, sorry, and the Two of Wands next to that. These two. So the Seven of Wands is people coming for your position. You can see them being jealous over there, down there. They're just sitting on the wands right now, but they are going to come up and try to fight you, and the person up there is already quite ready for that. Next to that we see the Two of Wands, which is normally like planning an excursion, planning to go places, setting up new goals and that sort of thing. And that is not happening because it's in reverse. So this is a direct challenge to the plans. And I do believe that they said that he didn't think that she was able to do the van life thing, that she wasn't going to be successful with that. So that was definitely one of the points of contention. So this is perhaps the conflict that drove them over the edge, or something happened in any case. It looks so far like it wasn't something happened in the Grand Tetons, like a normal accident, like, oh, somebody slips over the edge, falls to their doom, unfortunately, and oh no, now we have to go call 911 and that sort of thing, because also no 911 was ever called for that accident. If it was an accident, he just drove back home, if it was at all involved in that sense. But it seems very suspiciously to point towards him, because right next to this disagreement here and the challenges and the worry and anxiety and the love lost, we see the Chariots and Justice. So this is running, a lot of activity in any case. He's definitely flying, trying to beat the thunderstorm down there, if you can see that. And next to that is Justice. So I think this is going to be him running away from Justice. But Justice is upright, so that means I don't think he's going to be running forever. Eventually he will be caught. Also because right now it's one of those cases that people like to see solved. Normally when somebody goes missing and they end up found dead somewhere, people want to know what the boyfriend did, etc. But usually you hear about these cases after everything has already been said and done. But this time it's live and it's currently being followed by the media. Everybody can see what's happening. You can get updates pretty much every day now. So this is like him being on the run, but because there are so many people watching, he won't be running for long, because people have seen his face on TV and everywhere on the internet, and they know what to look for. So he will probably be apprehended soon, I feel. Let's see about that then. The future. Let's go to the Urban Tarot deck to see if we can find anything about that. The first card we got here is Four of Swords. Truce. Four of Swords is normally a card for taking a break. And Truce would say, like, stalemate, let's just go back to our own quarters, figure things out, and then go back to whatever it is. Maybe try some civil discourse or something, because it is a sword card, which is normally about thoughts and words. But this says no truce, basically. No giving up, no rest. He is currently feeling very hunted, as he is, so that makes sense. Let's see what else we can get. That's interesting. This is the card that I showed you earlier to show you what the deck looked like. But he came up again, and this is called the Hacker, which to me suggests that he is quite smart, and he's trying to outsmart other people by being as sneaky as possible, just trying to get around without being noticed, etc. So this is Prince of Swords, which is basically the knights of this type of deck, because the princes are knights and the princesses are pages. So this is the Knight of Swords. And Knight of Swords, as you know, in other decks, is a knight that's charging forward, basically without abandon, and that means he is currently still in that chariot mode, thinking really fast, thinking a mile a minute, trying to get to whatever it is that he wants to get to, where he thinks he'll be safe, which matches the Four of Swords in reverse right next to it, because there is no rest, and he needs to be up all night. As you can see, he's in a dark room, so at least the character on the card is trying to figure things out as fast as possible. Probably moving by night is what that might mean. Now we have, right, Princess of Discs. So this is the Page of Pentacles then, the kindergarten teacher. I think this is her on his mind probably, because this is a very wistful looking card. So even though he is currently running and stressing out over all the stuff that's happening right now, I don't feel like he intended to commit whatever crime he may have committed, allegedly, obviously, because we don't know anything yet. But this is almost like the memory that's driving him forward, I believe, because it's a very normally you'd say, okay, Page of Pentacles is like somebody who's like spending stuff. It could also represent the fact that he's probably trying to get money in order to get as far away as possible. But because it's such a illustrated card with a very familiar type of scene, the scene itself is telling me that this is more of a remembering the past type of card. Like this is on his mind, maybe thinking back about the good days, while also having money issues, which is of course the base meaning of the card, or surprises, small financial issues maybe, like maybe he is currently unable to get to an account. I am drawn to look at the little hand things down there next to the dribble cage. That might mean that he has some, I don't know, some fund that he may have been given by a family member when he was born. Like maybe they opened an account for him and he's currently trying to get to that. some type of trust fund or something along those lines. What else do we have? We have the Five of Wands and the Eight of Swords. Now, the Eight of Swords is normally being caught in some type of web, and this is representing very much because it's also showing a TV that he probably feels like he's trapped or maybe constantly being chased because he's on TV so much right now. So that's definitely not working for him. We see internal strife because it's a Five of Wands in reverse, so he's struggling with himself. I feel like he might be thinking about turning himself in, like he's really trying very hard to run and be safe, but I think he's also realizing that this cannot last forever, and that's what this struggle is currently about. Like they're always talking about me on TV, I see my face everywhere, they're always talking about her, so people know about that, and also he's trying very hard to stay out of people's way so that he doesn't get caught. But there's this internal strife, that nervousness that I feel we saw in the videos that we have seen of him, that he's like, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing, maybe I need to go home, maybe I need to do this, maybe I need to do that. Like he's still in conflict with himself internally. Let's see if he will actually turn himself in. Let's see if we can get a card about that. Nope. This one is... This is the World. Okay. Normally when I see this card, I think this is the Fool. I think I've said that a few times. This is actually the World card in reverse. And this, in relation to what I asked, like, will he turn himself in? I think this means that he's ultimately going to try to hide, regardless of how guilty he might be feeling or how remorseful he might be feeling. So I don't think he's going to come up to a police station on his own accord, because of whatever he feels that will happen when he does that. And then we get the Five of Swords, which, as you can see at the bottom, is called defeat. So even though he's trying to run away, eventually he will be caught. You can see that card in the middle that's kind of cornered by all the different swords. There's no way he's running away from this. I don't think people will allow him to. Too many people are on the lookout for him to remain a fugitive for long, I believe. Let's see if we can get any final cards. Maybe one or two extras. That one. What does this say? Okay, so he might be looking at getting a lawyer because the next card we get here is the Public Defender, the Queen of Wands. So maybe this actually means that his family are going to come in and get him a good lawyer, because they have so far been shown to want to help out at the very least. But as you can see over here with the big cat sitting over there, even though he might be getting a public defender or a defender who's probably going to be very good, I don't think that the district attorney, or whatever you would call that on the other side, the people that will be trying to convict him of the murder in any case, they will probably not let things slide very easily. So they will want to make sure that he gets what he deserves, that they get everything on the table that can be held against him in any way, shape, or form. So he's not going to be given an easy trial, I don't think. It's going to be probably, because it is called Public Defender, I think this trial is going to be very public. Most people are going to be watching this. It's almost like back in the day when O.J. Simpson was on trial. Like, everybody would follow that. People would try to get into the courtroom to see what was happening in there. Because this case has been put on the news so much lately, I think that we're going to get a lot of attention as well for the courtroom as that comes. And then we have the Two of Wands Dominion. So this seems to me like the gate of some type of very official building. So this to me says he's probably going to go, this looks like a court again, so it's definitely going to be seeing a court at some point, and perhaps also seeing jail time after that, because this does not look like a very friendly card. Like, normally the Two of Wands, I would say, is a card of planning your journeys, like I said earlier with the other Two of Wands down here. This seems more like you're only going to go one place and you're going to like it whether you like it or not. So this seems to me like a jail time for the perpetrator, whom we currently suspect is the boyfriend, but we don't know that for sure. So that is what I'm seeing for this case. Hope you found it interesting. Looked like we did actually get the case itself and not just a scrambled mess of whatever people might be thinking and feeling right now, because there are, of course, a lot of people thinking and feeling about this case that may muddy the waters from time to time, but it looks like we got a fairly clear cut case here. In any case, thanks for watching. Hope you found that interesting, like I said, and that I'll see you in another video. Leave a like, that really helps the channel along. Thanks for watching, and bye bye for now.